Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to make snowflake ornaments with quick aluminum. These are a really fun and simple project, and you can make a bunch of them and have them ready to go if you have a Christmas party or somebody that you have to give presents to. So we're going to get started with this today. We're going to use the quick aluminum, and if you guys haven't seen me work with it, there are some videos to help you, but we only have 3 to 5 minutes to work with this before it gets hard. And we're going to start with, cut a little piece off here. The first thing you want to do is take off all your jewelry. It will stick in your jewelry. If you have something that you can't get off, put some tape around it or something like that. And we're going to get our wax paper. And we're going to put that on our table. And I've also turned this into a necklace, and we'll talk a little bit about that with the leftovers. So there are fun little charms or tags or all kinds of things you could do. You can even attach that to a present if you wanted to. So we're going to spray our vegetable spray on our wax paper. And I do have it turned over backwards, but it lays down better that way, so we'll see. Make sure you remove your plastic from your quick aluminum, and we're going to knead it together, and that's what is going to activate it. And we're going to work it real good here. This is a little bit dry, so I'm just going to dip my finger in some water and just continue to working it, and just by that little amount of water, that makes it a lot more pliable. And I'm going to use some stamps, and Michael's has the dollar section, and I found a cute little one there, and that makes that little guy right there, and that real cute. We're going to, and I have some that if you're stamping people, you've already got your stamps, and we're just going to use them to make our imprint. And we're also going to color them at the same time with our stamp pad. Now we're going to fold our paper, wax paper over, and I'm going to press it down first with my hand. I found that it's easier to roll it out if you do that first. And I'm going to make sure that this is big enough for my stamp, but I'm going to cut it out with a cookie cutter. So if you have a cookie cutter, most of us do, that are round, it'll work real well with that. And then you don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. You want it just right. And I have different color ink pads for what different color of snowflake you want. And I'm going to use that color. I'm going to ink it up real good. I'm going to put it right into the quick wood. Press it down, not too hard. You don't want it to go above the stamp part, but hard enough that you know that all of the that got transferred onto the snowflake. And one thing I forgot to do is I forgot to spray it with my vegetable spray, and it would make lifting it up easier, and then wipe it and then stamp it, and that works a little bit better. And then I'm going to take my cookie cutter here, and we're going to cut out our snowflake, and this guy barely fits. Let's see if the next size up is probably just a tad too big. So we're going to make this guy work. We're going to get him all in here, all on his edges and everything, and rub him real good. Get those edges real good, and then lift that up and take it away. Now if you have any parts that kind of got cut or didn't get cut well, just come in with your hobby knife and ink those. And just smooth those corners a little bit. Kind of clean them up. Now we have this other little extra piece here. What we're going to do with him is make a little snowflake. And that's what I made my little necklace piece out of. I'm just going to push him down with my thumb, try and keep him as round as I can. And we also found out that the lid for the quick wood works very good on cutting out a circle. So I'm going to cut him first, and then we're going to stamp him. And I have some smaller snowflake, and they're part of a larger one, and I'm just going to use one of those, one that I can kind of get off here. I'm going to use a different color here, and I'm not even going to hook this guy onto another one. I'm just going to put him directly on there. So put him right in the middle and squish him down. There you go. Now we're going to come back in. Now on this guy, I would use a jump ring and just make that little, all you need is one single jump ring to hook it onto your necklace, the silver necklace with. Now this guy I want a little bit bigger because he's going to have some tie go through him, some cording. So I'm going to do it in a bigger area where I can make sure it's not going to break and I can get a bigger hole in him. Now we're going to come back in with our different embossing colors, and you can also use glitter if you want to make sure you do it kind of quickly and that your quick aluminum is not dry on you yet. But there's a bunch of snowflake patterns and wonderful things out there, and I really like the snowflakes. And the snowflakes aren't just for Christmas, they're winter items, so you can do those any time of the year. Now I want to do a little bit different color on this guy right here. So every time you do it, depending on the ink pad you're using and the embossing colors, you can use silver. On this guy I used a white ink. You can use it's unlimited what you can use. Now at this point in time you want to take them and varnish them to keep the embossing powder from coming out. And then once you varnish them, you can come back and put your embellishments on. And I did it backwards on these, that's why they're not as shiny, so make sure that you varnish them first. And I just use my spray varnish, and then I just come back in and I have my little tweezers here and just set your embellishments right in these. And because we've done them, if they're wet like this, you could just stick them in and then varnish it, but then you use your sparkle. Unless you put a piece of tape or something, it would just stay. But when you come back in and glue them after you have varnished them, please use your E6000. And on this guy, I came in and I put all of these here and then all of these on the outside, and it made it really, really cute. So after you have varnished it, put your little embellishments on. We're going to put our little hanger on. And make sure you use something that sets off your design, that it doesn't work against it. It really can make or break your ornament. Now this guy is big enough, so we're going to stick him through on one end, and we're going to pull him through this way. And what this does is hangs the ornament straight, so it's not hanging sideways. If you don't have it where you can only do one through, put one through, knot it there, come up to the top and knot it here. Make sure that you leave enough room to make both of the knots without making your ornament too small. So put him in there. Alright, now I'm going to come back with a bow because I think the bow really adds to it. On the other two little ones I used raffia. On this one I'm going to use a silver wired bow. I'm going to trim this guy off where he was folded. And I like to use the wire bows. It's harder when you get into the smaller ones, but they hold their shape. You flatten them up, you can knock them back to life. They're so much nicer than just the flat ribbons. But the raffia works well as too. I'm going to take my wire and instead of tying it, because it's such a small bow, we're just going to wrap it to give it that clean, crisp look. Now I just want enough wire, and I'm not going to wire it on, I'm going to glue it on. So we're just going to cut the rest of that wire right off at the bow. And use your hot glue gun, keep it on low settings. We're going to cover up that knot. Set it right on top. You don't want to have it cover up your ornament, so I'm setting mine just above. I'm going to have it come out to the sides because you want to show off that nice ornament. This guy's almost got a gold touch to him, so you could look at your gold, or I've got some little silver snowflakes as well that you can put on there. Just any little thing that you have around, a rhinestone, just fun items. And I think this guy with a rhinestone in the middle would be kind of cute, because it does have that gold into it as well. So we're going to find my little rhinestones here. Let's see if that guy's too big. And then hot glue him on as well. Don't just use just the sticky. But see how pretty those are? And people will think that you paid a lot of money for them or spent a lot of time making them. So those are really nice. If you have any questions about this project, please email me at art@miriamjoy.com. You can also go to my website at miriamjoy.com if you need to purchase any of the quick wood projects, including quick copper and quick aluminum. There's also a YouTube link to take you over to more of these fun YouTube videos, and there's a Facebook link where we're having some great contests going on, and there's always a daily board to kind of inspire you, to give you something to do every day. So thank you for taking time to join me today. Have a Merry Christmas. God bless.